This is Mike here from DrunkChickenTV. Today we're interviewing PLAYtheGAMEcentral. This is Ben. If you guys would definitely like to check out his channel, he's got some pretty impressive content on there. So go ahead and subscribe, comment on some of his videos, give him some likes, and do all those cool and amazing things. And hey, what's going on, Ben?
Not much. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good.
So let's start off, like, when did you exactly start playing COD? When was the first time? What game?
You know what? I started playing Call of Duty 4 originally on, I think it was an iBook. I can't remember the exact make of laptop. I know it was Apple, but I was trying to do some kind of Windows porting, kind of getting the Windows desktop onto Mac, and so I was playing a lot of COD 4. But I really started again at the end of COD 5 and beginning of Modern Warfare 2. I really got into Modern Warfare 2, built up a channel and a kind of quite a substantial community. And in the UK, there were a lot of people like Trout and Sam 5000 who were all we were all in that kind of same boat, but then there was a huge fallout, and that was the end of that. So, but no, I was very big on Modern Warfare 2, and it was only after that I went back and properly looked into World at War, COD 5, to kind of... it's just because Treyarch left this idea in my mind that there was more to it than kind of what we saw in the zombie maps, and so I just felt like it was
I totally agree. I mean, Treyarch, they're a very creative developer, as opposed to Infinity Ward.
Yep.
You know, definitely based on all the zombie content.
Absolutely.
You know, it definitely hit off with Call of Duty 5, obviously, World at War.
Yep.
And they took it from there. They went to Black Ops, and they went to Black Ops 2, and now they're starting up their new DLCs.
That's it.
And, you know, the creativity is mainly focused on the community. They always rely on the community, which is an excellent thing. That's always a plus.
Definitely,
so,
and they need to keep their ears to the community if they want to do well with this season of DLC. I much prefer Treyarch to Infinity Ward. I really don't have much against Infinity Ward. I think that Infinity Ward sells better. Well, it does sell better because it's a more commercial franchise on the whole, if you know what I mean. It's very...
I totally agree.
It has a much more commercial feel. But I really like the darkness and the gritty edge that Treyarch seem to kind of lace their games with.
You see this gritty edge to it even in the campaign, you know, as such. You know what I mean? But, you know,
since World at War, the campaigns have been fairly grim from Treyarch. I mean, they've always been fairly horrible. So I'm actually before that as well. It's only recently that I got back into the original Call of Duty. I called them the original ones, but like 1, 2, and 3, which not many people really even care about, because obviously the YouTube community only grew up from the end of COD 4 and COD 5 and really started to get big in Modern Warfare 2.
You hit the nail right on the head. That is completely right. Call of Duty 4 really definitely hit it off.
Definitely.
It was one of the most classic, you know, ones in the series.
And I still love it. I still think its multiplayer is just so addictive.
It is. I mean, you can go back to it right now and have as much fun as you are having with Black Ops 2. Absolutely. Maybe even more.
Yeah.
You know. But, yeah, how about you tell us your favorite zombie map prior to Black Ops 2, indicating, like, maps from World at War and Black Ops 1?
Well, see, I'm always tied. It's always going to be a World at War map because however much I loved Black Ops 1, it just wasn't. It didn't have that feel of it's not really the feel. It's more... I can't explain it. It's a kind of...
I know what you're saying. World at War kind of had its own type of... I don't want to say theme, but it kind of had... Yes, it did have a certain feel to it. It was very on its own. If you look at the Black Ops maps, I mean, they kind of took certain things away from the World at War maps, like the Hellhounds, for instance. The animal-based enemies that give you a little bit of break from the normal zombies, and they kind of took that away in Black Ops, and they did stuff like the Pentagon Thief and George A. Romero, which some people, you know, didn't exactly like. You know, more people like myself actually kind of lean towards the animal-based zombie rounds and kind of have a little bit of a break, which actually, you know, reward you with like either double points or max ammo.
Yeah. I always like that. You have to. It's always for a reward, and we're going to talk about Easter eggs later. But I have something to say about reward-based Easter eggs, because I really don't think Treyarch are delivering the correct reward. I always think, well, what's the point of doing this incredibly long, tedious, and sometimes incredibly boring Easter egg when there is no reward really. There doesn't seem to be a payoff to the community for doing these things. But anyway, yeah, back to the word I was looking for was nostalgia with World at War.
Exactly. You got it right there. That's the word.
It's like because World at War, for the people who were around playing Call of Duty at the time, because it was what it was. It was your first time that you got to play zombies, and that was incredible, and it ignited the ideas of so many people, and the amount of art, the amount of storylines, music, and commentaries that came just from zombies, just from this game mode that could have easily just slipped away. It could have just been Nacht an Toten, and they thought, well, this isn't worth it, and it could have just slipped away into, you know, one of those random game modes that games have. But instead, it's evolved and it's turned into something that's always pushing the boundaries. It's always pushing the boundaries. I don't always like the way they're doing it, but they are always trying to kind of push themselves.
They all have their ups and downs with certain maps, you know, and they kind of learn from certain mistakes.
Yeah.
And yes, you know, it's certain mistakes are just a matter of opinion. You know, it's not
definitely.
a fact.
No.
But overall, I feel like it's the most original form of zombies. If you want the most original form, you got to head to World at War. That's where the roots were.
Yeah.
Those maps are so original at the time. Where let's say, for instance, you're playing Verrucht, right? Zombie Asylum.
Yeah.
At the time, you're thinking to yourself, you know, what's next? You really didn't know at the time what they were going to bring to you next. But now we understand that Treyarch, you know, they do this all the time. I mean, this is really good creative stuff that they do. They actually just keep on adding mysterious stuff into their levels.
Yeah, and to go back to the original question, I always go with Der Riese. I always say Der Riese is got to be my favorite map. However, if I'm feeling like a challenge, I'll go to Verrucht. And Nacht is obviously very challenging, but Nacht also, it just isn't interesting enough to keep me playing. But Verrucht, with a 4-man team and a kind of camping strategy on Verrucht, I can go back to it now and I can be crying with laughter. It's that good. Whereas Der Riese, because everyone's done every strategy there is in Der Riese, is unbelievable, and it just gets a bit tedious now. I still love it. I love the map design. I think the art style is incredible. In fact, I always relate the Der Riese art style to the new Nuketown Zombies art style. I just really like both. I think both of them are excellently created, and I just think they're both kind of really innovative maps. I know that what multiplayer map did Der Riese originally come from? Was it Nightfire?
Nightfire, you're correct.
Yeah, that was a good map as well. And you can see the kind of evolution from Nightfire, then kind of chaining off it and making it Der Riese, and it just I love Der Riese. I think it's
and when you mentioned Verrucht, you know, that map is so great, you know, in terms of competitive matters compared to Der Riese, because I feel like it's more close quarter combat based. It's really hard.
It's corridors.
They had cool things in there like the electrical barriers. I mean, Der Riese had the electrical barriers as well, but there was just something with the Verrucht map that made it a lot harder.
Well, and it added so much. It added all the perks. You know, we'd never seen perks before then, and that was wow. I mean, you turned on, you saw these shiny machines, and you thought, what the hell's going on here? Yeah, no, it's excellent map, excellent.
And what I loved about World at War was that, you know, they actually grabbed this World War II theme, and they added like all this sci-fi technology into it, and, you know, like connections to the Nazis and all that, like what they were working on. I mean, if you look at the History Channel, you know about Element 115, of course.
Yes, oh yeah, a lot.
Of course, right?